If you've ever worked a field with an old tractor that just kept going all day, you already know this. Fuel efficiency didn't start with modern machines. Today, we're counting down the 10 most fuel-efficient older tractors, rated by horsepower per gallon, based on proven test data. Each one has its own story, and when we reach number 1, the fuel figure is so good, it still surprises people today. Number 10. The Oliver 1650 Diesel. This is one of those tractors that doesn't always get the spotlight. Oliver is an underrated classic, and plenty of farmers will tell you the same thing. People don't talk about it as much, but out in the field, it can run with the best of them. What earns it a place on this list is steady, proven efficiency. According to test data, the Oliver 1650 diesel comes in at around 66.28 PTO horsepower, using about 5.0 gallons per hour. That works out to roughly 13.26 horsepower per gallon. It's not a flashy number, but it's consistent. The kind of efficiency you can actually live with all day long. And that's the real story of the 1650. It's the tractor you hook up and go to work. No drama, no show, just a machine that pulls smoothly and keeps its composure. Folks who mow a lot of acres, pull a rake, or run a mid-sized baler, remember the 1650 for being quiet, steady, and tough. The kind of tractor that feels like it was built to stay in the family. If you want the best fuel economy from one today, keep it simple. Keep the air filter clean. Make sure the injectors are set right. And choose a gear that lets the tractor pull evenly. Don't wind it up and then let it fall on its face. Smooth power is where older diesels often shine. Now here's the fun part. The next tractor is a bright red name, often called a true workhorse. And when you hear its fuel numbers, you'll understand exactly why it earned that reputation. Number 9. The International Harvester 560 Diesel. For a lot of older farmers, the IH 560 isn't just a tractor, it's a turning point. It showed up at a time when farms were growing, equipment was changing, and horsepower started to matter more than ever. Now, this tractor earns its spot here because the numbers back up the reputation. According to test data, it makes about 59.48 horsepower, burning roughly 4.1 gallons per hour. That comes out to about 14.51 horsepower per gallon. In plain terms, it gives you a solid amount of work for every gallon you pour in, especially for its era. But the 560 was never meant to be pretty to look at. It's like an old hired hand, the kind who shows up early, works late, and never complains. The power comes on steady. The pull feels even confident. And that's why so many folks remember these tractors as machines that just kept going. Not fast, not fancy, just reliable day after day. Here's the practical part. If you're thinking about fuel efficiency in real life, the 560 does best when you keep it on moderate jobs. Mowing pasture, raking hay, running lighter tillage, pulling a wagon. And the key is simple. Don't let it scream at high RPM when the load is light. Older diesels save fuel when they're working smooth and steady, not racing. So the IH 560 diesel is a tractor with a name, a history, and real efficiency to back it up. But the next one shifts gears. Coming up at number 8 is a newer Deere, a utility tractor with a reputation for doing big work. And when you hear its numbers, they just might surprise you. Number 8. The John Deere 3020 Diesel. For many folks, the 3020 isn't just a tractor. It's a green icon from a whole generation. Now here's why it lands on this fuel efficiency list. According to test data, the 3020 diesel comes in around 64.32 horsepower, using about 4.4 gallons per hour. That works out to roughly 14.62 horsepower per gallon. In simple terms, it gives you a strong, useful amount of work for the fuel you're burning. What made the 3020 special is how versatile it was. It could pull implements, handle loader chores, and do PTO work without acting like it was struggling. And the truth is, when it's run the right way, it doesn't drink fuel the way some people claim. A lot of those stories come from tractors being pushed outside their comfort zone or run wide open when they didn't need to be. If you want the best fuel economy from a 3020 today, think like an old-timer. Match the tractor to the job. Don't ask it to do heavy work nonstop, like it's a bigger row crop machine. Let it work in its sweet spot, where the pull is steady, and the engine isn't constantly chasing RPM. And because these tractors have some age on them now, it's worth checking the injection pump timing. When timing drifts, fuel economy usually drops first, before you notice anything else. The John Deere 3020 diesel earned its reputation by doing a little of everything and doing it well. But the next tractor on our list turns the color back to red, a name with more horsepower, and yet the fuel numbers still look surprisingly good. Number 7. The International Harvester 706 Diesel. The IH706 is the kind of tractor people talk about with respect. You'll hear it said more than once. That tractor won't leave you out in the field. And for older farmers, that's not just a compliment. It's peace of mind. When you're far from the shop, with work to finish before the weather turns, reliability matters as much as horsepower, and the 706 brings both. According to test data, it makes about 71.84 horsepower, while using around 4.7 gallons per hour. That comes out to roughly 15.29 horsepower per gallon. For a tractor in this power range from this era, that's a strong number. It means you're getting real work done, without burning fuel like a much larger machine. The story of the 706 is how it pulls. Farmers like the feel of it because it doesn't yank and it doesn't surge. It pulls steady with solid torque, like it was built for real tillage and real days in the dirt. Now, if you're chasing fuel efficiency on a 706 today, keep one system in top shape: cooling. Older tractors that run hot often start burning more fuel, and they lose strength faster. So make sure the radiator is clean, the fan belt is tight, and the coolant system is doing its job. A cool running diesel is almost always a more efficient diesel. So the IH706 diesel earns its spot by being useful power and steady economy, a true field tractor. But number 6 is the twist in our countdown, because it's a Ford, one of the most familiar names on American farms, and its horsepower per gallon figure surprises a lot of people. Number 6. The Ford 4000 Diesel. The Ford 4000 Diesel is often seen as the perfect step up from a smaller tractor. You get more muscle, but it still feels compact and manageable. And most important for this video, it does the job without making you wince every time you fill the tank. Now let's talk fuel efficiency. According to test data, it makes about 44.52 horsepower, using around 2.9 gallons per hour. That works out to roughly 15.35 horsepower per gallon. For a tractor in this size class, that's a strong, practical number. Exactly the kind of everyday efficiency farmers care about. The reason the Ford 4000 shows up in so many barns is simple. It fits the rhythm of a family farm. It's right at home mowing pasture, pulling a rake, dragging a small disc, running a rotary cutter, or handling PTO chores. It's not a tractor that needs a big speech. It's a tractor you climb on, turn the key, and go make progress. If you want the best fuel economy from a Ford 4000 today, focus on 2 things that often get overlooked. First, tire pressure. Underinflated tires waste fuel, especially in soft ground. Second, keep the engine working in its torque band. Ford diesels from that era tend to be most efficient when they're pulling steady and smooth, not revving high and surging. So the Ford 4000 diesel earns its place by being the just right tractor. Enough power, simple handling, and honest efficiency. But coming up at number 5 is a later 70S John Deere utility tractor that many people call quietly efficient, and its numbers show why. Number 5. The John Deere 2440 Diesel. The John Deere 2440 Diesel is one of those tractors that doesn't brag. It just works. A lot of folks describe it as a Deere that can go all day without getting tired. And the proof is simple. You still see 2440s on farms today because owners kept them, fixed them, and trusted them. Now, when it comes to fuel efficiency, the numbers are quietly impressive. According to test data, the 2440 diesel makes around 55.23 horsepower, using about 3.4 gallons per hour. That works out to roughly 16.24 horsepower per gallon. For a practical utility tractor, that's a strong return for every gallon you burn. Part of the charm is how the 2440 feels in real use. For moderate pulling and PTO work, it's smooth and easy to live with. A lot of older farmers like it for the same reason they like a good old pickup truck. It doesn't need to prove anything. You hook up the implement, do the job, and go home. No drama, no surprises, just steady progress. And here's a fuel-saving tip that matters more on an older tractor than most people realize. Keep the fuel filtration in top shape. A tractor this age can lose fuel in ways that don't look like much at first. A seep here, a soft hose there, a weak filter that makes the system work harder. Those small losses add up over a season. So the John Deere 2440 diesel earns number 5 by being the kind of tractor that stays useful long after the paint fades. Efficient, dependable, and practical. But if you're looking for something smaller and even more economical, number 4 is a familiar Ford name, and the gallons per hour figure on that one is hard to forget. Number 4, the Ford 3000 diesel. If there's a working man's hero in the older tractor world, the Ford 3000 diesel is a strong candidate on thousands of small and mid-sized farms. This was the tractor that got used the most. And what makes the Ford 3000 stand out in this countdown is a fuel number that stops people in their tracks. According to test data, it makes about 31.81 horsepower, burning roughly 1.9 gallons per hour. That's about 16.74 horsepower per gallon. And that 1.9 gallons per hour detail, that's the part that makes folks lean in, because it's a real-world kind of efficiency, especially for a tractor that can still do honest work. Now, the Ford 3000 never promised to be a big field king. It promised something more useful, to be steady and sensible. This is the tractor you use for mowing, pulling a light blade, hauling a wagon, cleaning up fence lines, working pasture ground, and handling the chores that show up every single week. And that's exactly why it belongs on a list like this. If you want the best economy out of a 3000 today, remember one simple rule. Don't run high RPM just to ride around. Older diesels waste fuel when they're spinning fast with very little load. Keep the tractor working in a reasonable load range. Pick a gear that lets it pull smoothly. And most times, you'll see a clear difference at the fuel tank. So the Ford 3000 diesel earns number 4 by fitting real farm life. Practical, familiar, and surprisingly economical. But number 3 takes us to Massey Ferguson, with a diesel name many farmers trust, Perkins. Number 3, the Massey Ferguson 165 diesel. When people talk about the Massey Ferguson 165 diesel, you'll often hear the same word right away, Perkins. For a lot of farmers, that name is almost a guarantee. It means the tractor was built to work hard, start reliably, and do it without wasting fuel. And the test numbers show why it earns a top 3 spot. According to test data, the MF 165 diesel makes around 47.40 horsepower, using about 2.8 gallons per hour. That comes out to roughly 16.93 horsepower per gallon. In plain English, that's a strong blend of power and economy. Enough muscle to be useful, but still easy on fuel over a long day. The real story of the 165 is how well it fits farm life. Whether you're mowing, running PTO equipment, dragging a small disc, or handling hay work, the 165 tends to feel steady and balanced. It's not trying to impress you. It's trying to finish the day. Now, if you want a Perkins running at its most efficient, pay attention to what older farmers learned the hard way. The fuel system matters. Keep the injectors healthy, keep the filters clean, and don't let water or poor fuel sit in the system. When the injection is right, a Perkins diesel has a smooth, economical rhythm. That's hard to beat. So the Massey Ferguson 165 diesel earns number 3 by being enough tractor for a lot of farms. Strong, dependable, and economical. But if the 165 is the perfect balance, number 2 is even more surprising. It's smaller, simpler, and yet it ranks incredibly high for fuel efficiency. Number 2, the Massey Ferguson 135 diesel. The Massey Ferguson 135 diesel is a small farm legend. For many folks, it brings back the right kind of memories. Family farms, daily chores, and a tractor that didn't ask for much. And the fuel numbers are a big reason it still gets talked about. According to test data, the MF-135 diesel makes around 34.86 horsepower, using about 2.0 gallons per hour. That works out to roughly 17.43 horsepower per gallon. And that 2.0 gallons per hour at that power level is a beautiful number. Simple, clear, and hard to ignore. The story of the 135 is the way it hits that just right sweet spot. It's enough tractor for a long list of jobs: mowing, raking, pulling a small blade, running PTO equipment, and handling light field work when you need it. People love it because it's easy to own, simple to maintain, simple to repair, and parts are still widely available. For viewers over 55, this is exactly the kind of tractor you either grew up around, saw your neighbor run for years, or maybe owned yourself. Now, to keep a 135 diesel running at peak efficiency, think about one thing: let the engine breathe. A clean air filter and a tight, leak-free fuel system make a real difference on an older diesel. So the Massey Ferguson 135 diesel earns number 2 by being small, steady, and surprisingly economical. But now it's time for number 1, a John Deere that many people still point to when fuel efficiency comes up. And once you hear the test number, you'll understand why some folks call it amazing in the most literal sense. Number 1, the John Deere 730 diesel. This one sits at the top for more than reputation. The John Deere 730 diesel is a true symbol of the classic Deere era, and it has a Nebraska test number that still gets talked about, even today. When people argue about the most economical old tractor, the 730 often shows up fast. For one simple reason: the data is hard to ignore. On the Nebraska Tractor Test belt test at maximum power, the 730 diesel is listed at about 56.66 horsepower, using roughly 3.2 gallons per hour. That works out to around 17.71 horsepower per gallon. For a diesel tractor from the 1950s, that is remarkable. But the 730 is more than a number. It's a tractor people remember with their senses. They remember the sound, the steady pull, and the feeling that it could lean into a load and just keep going. And that's part of why it's respected. An old tractor that rewards a careful hand with real efficiency. If you want a 730 to be fuel efficient in real life, use it the way it was meant to be used. Match it to a job that gives it a real load, something it can pull steadily. Older diesels often look their best on fuel when they are working, not idling, not racing, not lightly cruising around the yard. Let it settle in, pull smoothly, and stay in its comfort zone. So yes, the John Deere 730 diesel earns number 1, with a headline fuel figure, and with a place in farm history that still feels alive. And now the best question isn't just, which tractor had the best number? It's this: which one on this list fits your farm and your kind of work the best? Today we counted down from number 10 all the way to number 1, and the lesson is clear. A lot of old iron is still fuel efficient, based on proven test data, not just stories and rumors. Now it's your turn. Which of these tractors have you actually run? And if you could pick only one to work with every day, which one would it be and why? Leave a comment and share your memory. I'll pin the best stories at the top.